Right, this is a test of the external SYNCO mic with the 1X2, because the internal mic is completely useless. So I'm just going to go for a little drive with the rig set up with all the adapters and God knows what else, and then see what the audio is like. Must admit, I'm pretty impressed with how easy it is to edit the files, because I thought it being 5.7K it'd be a right nightmare. So the workflow, as the professionals call it, you don't have to worry anything about capturing. You just set it up, switch it on, and then obviously, because it's a 360-degree camera, it's just gonna record absolutely everything. So everything's done in the editing suite. Now, with a 5.7K file, you're looking at very large files compared to HD, but it doesn't quite work that way. So basically what you do is you record your video, and then you do what they call, you manipulate it. Well, I use the iPad, but you can even do it on your phone. And basically what happens is you don't download the file, I don't think. It connects via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and then gives you the ability to edit. And then once you've edited it, you export an MP4 file. So my plan is I do the video, and then basically turn it into a linear video. So in other words, that's when the 360 one, it shows like a world kind of view, and then what you do is you pick the shots. What the fuck is this guy doing? I knew he was going to stop. What a complete tosser. There's magic inside, not in the fucking driving seat. That's the cleaner from Step Center. Yeah, so basically what the workflow is, you've got your 360 video, and then you choose where you want to point the camera after, because you've got everything. And you do this by inserting what they call keyframes, and then you can select whether it's linear, what the aspect ratio is. You can zoom in and out, or whatever it is that you want to do, and then you get basically your flat video. Yeah, I mean, you can just export the 360 video as well, but it doesn't look very good. Well, I suppose it does for a few seconds. You can like an intro or something like that. But anyway, for me, I'm only interested in flat video, and the reason I'm using a 360 is because then I can just use one camera, and when I'm talking I can point it at me like I'm doing now, or I can switch it to a side, forward, or whatever else view. So if I'm driving, you capture everything on the camera, and then what you do then is you export it as an MP4 file, and then you can import that into any kind of video editing software, just as you would normally. And I don't cut it, or I'm not going to cut it on the iPad, because then you lose the audio, and then matching all of that back up again is going to be a pain in the arse. So the thing to do is just do the keyframing, to get the video itself, export it as an MP4 file. Then if you want to edit bits out, you can edit bits out in normal software. Now by the time you've exported it, you can export it, for example, to HD, which is what I do, or I'm going to do as well, carrying forward. So the file's not so big. You transfer that to your PC or your Mac, edit out the bits, including the audio that you don't want, if anything, which I'd tend not to do. But if there's some bits of it that are just boring or pointless, then yeah, you can do that. And this is a fantastic workflow, because I expected it to be a lot of hassle. Now, one of the things now is, because I've got the SYNCO mic side into there's a little adapter for the audio cable, and I've plugged that all into the side. Now that's the stitching side. So if you don't do that right, then it might pick up the wire or whatever. Now, you know, when I first tested it, it did do, because I used a long wire that was not intended for the Insta 360. And it does show up, but it doesn't show up. It only shows up in those scenes, sideways scenes. So it's hardly visible then, because it does try to remove it. So I don't even see that that's going to be an issue for me. You know, it might be for somebody who's doing, you know, I don't know, like a physical outdoor activity or whatever. But if you want audio in the car, and basically I've got this for the car, then it's not a big deal. However, the adapter comes with a, what's going on here? The adapter comes with a short cable, so that fits nicely sideways on the stitching line, so it shouldn't appear at all. There's a guy here doing about 10 miles an hour. A little bit of excitement for the video. But he was doing about 20 miles an hour, I think, and on a blind bend, and then waving everybody past. And then eventually it just stopped. Anyway, so that's a little test. Let's see how this goes, because the audio that comes out of the Insta360 is completely and utterly unusable, worse than usual for these kinds of things. Like I said, the great thing about this is you don't have to frame the shot, you don't have to concern yourself. And it just pushes that kind of effort into the post-production, as to call it, but it's a little bit grand of a title for what I do. Alright, so there we are.